Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima, and I'm so glad to have you here today. It was a lot of fun yesterday, so I'm going to continue to be playing the game Donkey Kong Country again today. It was just what I wanted it to be for that first day. I thank you for sharing it with me so far, and I can't wait to see where we can go from here. Without further ado, let's get right to it. I'll take us over to the game. Anytime. There, okay. Just like yesterday, it just took a little bit of a second for things to catch up audio or video-wise. But here we are again. Just like yesterday, getting back to this opening is such a cool feeling. That big 90s energy here for this big music. Nice. Yes. I got too caught up, but we are 21% through the game already, so we've been flying through it already. Let's just get right going. So this is where we saved off yesterday. If memory serves, the way Donkey Kong Country works is every time you load the game, you start with the default 5 lives. I might be misremembering that. I think we had closer to 9 when we left off, but that's one of the benefits of being able to visit, previous levels to make sure. I'm just going to stop here back in the first level, Jungle Hijinks, to take stock of where we're at. Maybe gain a couple levels. It's pretty quick here. Yep, there are 5 lives on the board right now, which isn't bad. And probably 0 bananas. Yep, okay, so that resets as well. That's about what I remembered. We'll pick up that K letter off. I was up there for that banana. Or that balloon. Oh well. Oh, another one up there. Okay. Should have tried to go for the treetop route. We're not going to go through too many old levels, but it's kind of nice to just have a little bit of extra lives on hand. Kind of gets me back in the motion of going through the controls here as well. It's one of those, it's not rocket science. It comes back to me pretty quick. But yeah, there's a free guy right there. We'll get one more here by filling up those Kong letters. Oh. I don't remember actually finding a barrel there before. I wonder... Aha! Okay, I didn't see that yesterday. I think the goal here is to try to get 3 in a row. So it'll stop whichever one I hit, and then I'll try to make 3 of whichever one that is, and it'll give me one of those corresponding golden animals. 3 of those gets me a bonus stage. So I guess we're going for... So that's 2. Oh, just barely got that one. All right, I'll take that, though. That good victory pose from DK there. And every 100 bananas, you'll probably remember that gets us another life, so that's just nice to have too. So yeah, that was just a good review of that level, and actually something I want to show off here. I wondered if that was going to be the last secret, but this was Jungle Hijinks, and it's still Jungle Hijinks, but you might notice the level name up there has an exclamation mark by it now. I believe that signifies we found all the secrets that are in that level. I'm not really going to try too hard to go through that. I mean, I'll be lucky to beat the game by the end of the week. That's my main objective, but nice to see a little bit of extra progress there. But let's continue on with the actual adventure. We've beaten 2 bosses already, so a very good start to things. Yeah, why don't we stop by and save our game again anyway? Jump in the save barrel here. And that was actually 1 more % of completion for our game. Yep, no ads here. I'm still fairly new to the whole streaming thing, so I haven't quite leveled up enough to get to those levels, so we're just happily just getting to enjoy the games without any ads right now. Kind of that best of both worlds for everybody. And here we are back to Funky to fly off to a new zone. bodacious jumbo barrel. Yeah, we're making our way up the mountain here. We're up to Vine Valley. I think we did the first level, maybe? Yeah, just enough to get over here to unlock Monkey's Flights. So that takes us on to Forest Frenzy. I said it before many times yesterday, and I'll keep saying it. I like the art style so much of this game. All the depth of layers to things. Ooh, not sure how one would easily go about getting that K. There's gotta be... Oh, I see. I was probably supposed to jump off of one of those guys. That's one of those high-risk, high-reward sorts of things. It would be nice to get those one-ups, but if it's going to potentially cost me a life to get it, it's not a really good trade-off. This is kind of those moments, too, where you hesitate, and that can lead to some challenges. But one of the great things I've said about this game yesterday, and I'll keep saying too, is the platforming is just so good and responsive. Every choice you make, it feels like it's yours. It never feels like the game is unfair or things just aren't working the way they're supposed to. Like, I know these things will go up and down now, so I need to be aware of that. It's kind of one of those old-timey feels of having to experience it once or twice to make those mistakes and learn your lesson. Try to use the hints from the bananas on the ground. Really happy to see that DK barrel there. That was close. Oh, I wonder if this will be another like that first level. Oh, nope, probably a different step then. Or it was just actually there to help me, make that first jump. Oh, an exit. All right. Starting off good. Oh, I really thought the game was going to head off to the other direction. Temple Tempest. Even just a scene like this, crossing that bridge and having that sun, twilight look off in the distance there. Even on the Super Nintendo, they did a great job portraying that environmental feel. Last temple, there was like a little thing up at the top beforehand. I wonder if that'll be true here as well. Okay. Kind of a lot of the things with these old games, you start to figure out the way people like to hide things. Okay, the last temple level, I think I was thinking of this level when I was thinking of that one. Oh, well, that wasn't quite what I expected to happen there. I knew that the wheel was going to go forward, but I kind of figured I was going to have to be in front of it. I don't know what I was expecting to happen there, but clearly not that. So, I wonder if my problem was stopping. Got greedy there. Okay. Yeah, so there's a down arrow. You gotta kind of follow those when they give them to you. All right. Nice to farm some bananas here. A little easier than the last time when there were two of the guys as well. And yeah, you'd think that wheel would end up down in those pits as it was crossing them, but it's determined to follow me. And sometimes these markers will kind of act like those disturbed spots of dirt on the ground. Back in the jungle. There's that feeling when there's just one Kong on screen, you just feel that much more vulnerable because the next hit is the last hit. So there's that more of a tiptoe vibe in my step here. Okay. Yep, I panicked. I should have just kept going forward, but there's that one. Once you let up on that momentum. All right. Well, this worked last time, so I'm not one to oppose that again. Every 100 bananas is another life, so I've proven that lives will be valuable to me. This is also that good platforming, tactile practice. There we go. Oh, and then a bonus stage on top of it all. I believe we saw one of these yesterday, but it's, the idea is to collect as many of the small golden statues here. And at the end, I think every 100 we get is another life. And I'm sure there's a proper way to be doing this that I'm not even close to touching, but my way doesn't seem to be hurting too bad either. 400 and some. Very nice. I should get better at just using those as a path. The game wants me to do it later, so I should stop just kind of being timid on it. And go. That's not great. Well, we gained some extra lives, so that's why we've got them. I won't keep subjecting you to watching me farm for those banana bunches if I keep failing here, so we'll just carry on this time. Hopefully this is where I'll have learned my lesson. My problem was I was actually holding the button too long that time, so it continued my momentum off the cliff, those last couple. The best thing to do would have been not getting hit in the first place, but I'm happy enough with this. Made it to a save point, so that's always really nice to see. Wow, you guys really come a long way. Save your game now while you have a chance. Orangutan gang. Ooh, I love this. It's getting darker as we go forward here. All right. Both Kongs on the field again. There's a letter. Oh, but I wonder if I'm supposed to take the ostrich down there to try to get it. Because the nice thing here is we can kind of hover. Well, that's interesting. I wonder... Yeah, I need to like hover underneath that platform to land on that one, because if I jump too high, I'll just end up above it. Yes, so that's what happens. That was not the ideal way to play that. That's right. I believe Cranky told us that this guy can't actually stomp on enemies. And he was right. Well, I wonder if that'll make this a little bit more difficult. These metal kegs, those are unbreakable, so if I throw this one, it'll keep going until it... I wonder if that was the right use for that, or if I should have carried it with me, but... I like kind of like the reverse Donkey Kong idea here too, because we're going against, you know, other creatures throwing barrels at us, as opposed to, you know, the old Donkey Kong idea. I don't know why I went for that N since I don't have the O, but partially, guys, just to say I can. Another one of these blind feeling drops. Okay. I had a feeling it was coming, but I didn't feel it was coming that quick. But thank goodness for midpoint checkpoints. the benefit of having two Kongs at that point. All right, we'll take the exit. Nope, other than streaming, this is all I do. I wouldn't be opposed to looking at other opportunities should they present themselves in the future, but this has been it for me so far. I walked right by Cranky's cabin. We can't miss Cranky. More freeloaders? Well, I ain't got nothing for you. Sorry, Scram. Why, even the bananas have more frames and colors than I had in the entire game. Look at this. As I rock, my beard swings. Waste of frames, in my opinion. Aye, that was when we had real gameplay, that was. And this was developed with the latest state-of-the-art 3D whatcha-thingies, was it? The trouble with you kids is that you're all too soft. The old games were far harder, and I was a youngin'. The crafty croctopus corners his If you hold the Y button, yeah. That's a good skill to know, to hold the Y button to run. Well, that's about the size of it. Good lecture from Cranky. He definitely commands respect. Clam City. There's this part of me that just thinks it's, a few extra steps to double back here. Actually, I should be able to do this on any level, shouldn't I? I say, I want to stop back and just, pick up a DK barrel that should be hopefully near the start of things. And maybe I'm tempting fate by going here. So bear with me a moment while we take a flight somewhere nice and simple. Just having Diddy on hand is that extra little bit of security. That's the nice thing about being able to just back out of a level. So manage not to run into the first guy here. So there, now we got the both of us. I have a tendency to walking into enemies, so having 2 hits is a lot better than 1. We can stop by and say hi to Candy again while we're here as well. Take that progress we made and actually save it. Alright, back to the harder, more current content. Here we go. I figured it'd be underwater. I mean, it's in a lake, obviously, but we get this wonderful music. This is just another example of great tight platforming controls as well, because as you swim, you have to press the B button here, whichever, to swim up, but then to swim down, you just stop swimming and you sink at your own pace. If I can find, I think his name is On Guard, that swordfish, then I've got a lot more control over how I swim, but until then... Ooh, is there something else down there? Bananas. It's a Donkey Kong game, you need to go after the bananas sometimes. But yeah, there's just that extra level of control with certain animals. A little bit of a panic spot here. Midpoint though, I love to see it. I guess if I had the swordfish here, it might be a little too easy. The game really does want me to work on the underwater platforming here, so... This is one of those, we climbed up a pillar of these, now we have to go down one. doesn't take much for the tables to turn in levels like this, but I'm encouraged so far at this point to not be driven into a corner. As I get closer to the edge of the screen here. Not really where you want it. Ooh, a letter. Oh, thank you so much for that compliment. That really does mean a lot to me. I've always kind of been self-conscious about my voice, so to hear other people praise it, that really makes my day. Thank you very much. I knew there was a DK barrel around here somewhere. And once again, this is another one of those play the level a few times, learn the patterns, learn the mistakes, hopefully, and remember them for next time. Or just instantly panic, that's an option too. That was close, even in right there. Can I go up here? Nope. So this will swim in a rectangle shape. Kind of hard to see exactly how much space there is between one to the next. Maybe it just feels that little bit different, but the way Donkey Kong swims compared to Diddy Kong feels just a little bit different, too. I don't know why that segment was so tough for my brain to line up. All right, here we go again. As with before, I guess the key is just not slowing down. Okay, and there's the exit. Sweet. Oh, I didn't even see the banana horde back there on that rock. Bumblebee Rumble. Well, I think we can infer based on that name, but let's just keep being a touch paranoid and say hi to Candy again. She's right here. She'll give us that motivation we need. Would you like a quick spin in my save barrel? I would love that. Okay. All right, I guess I can't just tank him with these barrels. I need to actually throw the barrels at him. Okay, and I think it's also going to be one of those, like feels like maybe a pattern reset sort of thing if I wait too long between hits. Works too. Okay, I guess it wasn't a pattern thing. Just a set number of hits. All right. Well, I'm not going to argue with that. Kind of wish I could have done it in one of those full cycle approaches, but again, we rescued the golden banana and made it up to what appears to be Gorilla Glacier. A fitting name for the top of the mountain here. Snow Barrel Blast. The good different textures on the snow there, the kind of trail you can see. I've grown up in places that get winters like this, so it's really cool to see stuff like that depicted like I could remember seeing it. Ooh, interesting. This has that like ice effect. I wonder why the birds are slowly moving there. Aha. A nice wintry sound. The mysterious. Mix some darkness in here. Almost hesitated on that one again. If I'd kept up with that, it would have just kept going, but nice checkpoint. Oh, now the snow has really started. Dennis, welcome back. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Probably noticed I'm doing something a little bit different today. We're playing some Donkey Kong Country. Very much a casual playthrough here. I just made that. Oh, I probably shouldn't have gambled on this. Remember all those 1-ups I farmed earlier? They seem like they're quickly eroding, don't they? We'll get there. We'll get this. Oh. Well, I didn't know that was an option, but I'm not unhappy to have found it. And there's the exit. And there's nothing hidden above the exit, so let's take it. It's not quite the same sense of accomplishment of making it over the gaps the correct way, but yeah, I'm not going to argue with getting where I wanted to get. I like how the start of these levels on these icy grounds, the little walking animation will continue. I can see a bit of a rope up there next to that banana. Not sure I can reach it, though. I'll try Diddy. Maybe he can jump a little bit better. Or, yeah, that might have been the smarter answer. Gotta, bait an enemy back. Can't remember if these crystals are spiky and dangerous. Well, this has to break this wall, doesn't it? Yeah. Hitting the K first wasn't the answer. Maybe I was supposed to go for the banana. Okay, and this barrel, or this rope is actually pulling me upward. That's why this is such a slow, tedious climb. Because if I let go, we're moving, so. We will fight against that. But it's nice to know that's how these ropes function. Okay. Accidental learning here. Those spikes didn't hurt me, but it's always hard to say. Like, will others? There's that letter K. Okay, so this is probably going to be the opposite. Yeah, this is a pulling me down rope with extreme force. That's not what I wanted to do, but... Well, okay, we're at the bottom. We took the weird way to get there, but we got there. This is a cool mechanic, though, with these ropes that have direction like this. I could definitely see them being applied in interesting ways going forward. There's so many different paths here, it feels like. Okay, there's DK barrel back there. Seemingly nothing up here. I have not played anything from the Oddworld series, no. Something you recommend? This is going to try to pull me down into the wasp. Ooh, and then that one's going to try to go up. Checkpoint. right, another rope up there. Aha. I don't think I know a lot about it, but I've heard of the series. It's so counterintuitive to jump over to one of these ropes and then press down to climb away or towards the cliff, basically. Interesting, above there might be a secret direction. Aha. Starting to wonder if I'm going in the wrong direction here. Well, there's an arrow. You can always trust arrows. Oh boy. I see. They're both going to pull me down, so I've just got to keep jumping back from one to the other. Dubious. Yep, then I was just a little bit too low. Well, here's a bonus stage. Yeah, it was an interesting animation choice for the rope there. It would be interesting to see how like the expert players handle rooms like this. Yeah, I'm sure there's like a proper way to do this, kind of like a little Pac-Man board sort of thing, but this is obviously not the right way to do it. But it gets something done. I get a lot of these little golden statues. But to see like what a speedrunner or a pro would do with this, that would be impressive. 4 away from that 300. Wait, I'd already come up here. Well, I'm not sure about that hit call, but I can't say it wasn't my doing, so I have to remember which way the ropes go. Yeah, I'm not sure if there was a letter or what over there, but I'm gonna play it safe and go this way. There's just enough motion between the ropes, too, to throw me off just that little extra bit. I never did find that end, did I? Oh well. Why are there extra ropes? Nope, the exit's there. I gotta take the exit. So that was slip slide ride onto Ice Age Alley. Interesting start of the level here that goes off to seemingly nowhere. I'm going to take the ground in front of me and assume it's a safer path. Swinging rope. I kind of like how some of the snow has let up a little bit here. Well, that's another bonus stage. I need those lives right now, so I'll take it. We've seen this one a few times already, but I like it, so I'm not going to complain. Yeah, I was just thinking before I started this level that it was one of those... I don't really have a lot of lives on hand right now, and if something were to go wrong, if I game over, then I go back to the last place I saved. If I can't find Funky Kong or Candy Kong, then there's no real way to go save it, so I've got to make it to one of them before I can really make that bit of a checkpoint for us. I like the levels, I mean, don't get me wrong, but having to go play them again is kind of one of those, like, gamer things you don't exactly want to have to do, from just a completing a game standpoint. There's 300. Now back to snow and ice and vines and cliffs and scary jumps. Ooh, that was close. A checkpoint. I've proven I definitely need them, so nice to have them. Did not expect that. Hopefully I'll remember that next time. I mean, hopefully there won't be a next time to need to remember it, but... If there's one going downhill, will there be one going uphill as well? I probably should have followed that a little bit better. Ooh. Oh, wow. I got all sorts of lucky there. There is the exit. I am happy with that. There were some really tight moments there. I wasn't quite sure they were going to work out. Croctopus chase. Ooh, think how cold. I mean, in this Arctic environment. Okay. It can go through the walls. I can't. Good to know. I guess that's the chase part of the name, isn't it? Wasn't sure which way to go there. A DK barrel. I'm happy to see that, though. That was a rough 1-2 combo. At least we get good music for the ride. I think Diddy swims a little differently than Donkey Kong. I don't know, that might just mean me in the way I feel about it, but it just seems like there's a different level of control there. DK's definitely heavier, but he seems like he almost swims heavier too, if that makes any sense. Oh, I disagree with that. I kind of disagree with me not getting hit there either, though, so... Panic. Okay. Oh, even more okay. All right, fine, be that way. I'm not sure why my reaction there was to try to swim up. Okay, well, we can handle this much. I wonder if I can get him to start swimming and then cut back here. Nah, game's too smart for that. Alright, I guess that was all I needed to do. And then not swim up into the shark. We're gaming now. Follow the bananas. Is this a maze, I wonder? It has that feel. There haven't been any other levels like that in the game, so I'm not sure that's actually a thing or not, but Like I said yesterday, this is a game I've played before in the past, but never actually completed myself. So that's the big attempt for the week. Ooh. That was a nice tight gap between the two. Missed an O back there somewhere. It's almost like you don't want to slow down, but it is kind of nice to have that. Oh, I saw a bit of a gap the other direction there. I wonder if that would have been better. Oh, no, we're not checking. Shouldn't have stopped. There was that part of me that's like, do I go back and see what was back there? But in so doing, I'd already started down the other path, so. I really am glad they put an arrow here, though. It would have been tough to start there and like, okay, which way did I go again? Okay, we go forward. We don't swim up into the shark. No, we need to clear this path first. I should do that as Diddy. He definitely does seem to swim a little quicker. I shouldn't have swum up there. I think Donkey Kong might fall faster, though. I remembered at the very last second that they were going to be there. Turns out I needed about 2 seconds to make that choice properly. But this is that old-timey nostalgic feel of learning the game. You know, making those mistakes over and over and over again, and either learning it or doing it wrong enough that you just kind of get to that point where you run out of guys. Like, okay, try again. You know, here's 5 more guys. Learn this time. I'm not saying it's a better kind of gaming by any stretch. I'm not going to say that, but it is definitely indicative of the age of the game. What is over here? This is, oh, a 1-up. Wonderful. As long as there's not certain death waiting for you. There's a shark down here. Ah-ha-ha. Yeah, this does seem like one of the harder levels so far. But now I've got a companion. Well, not... Alright, the best way to do it. Until I get to a point where the other octopus had stopped. He was probably supposed to end up there. Oh, man. KNG. We made it through the level. Nice. I like how this one, too, seems to be like 2 segments across. And I'd like to think if I can make it through those caves up there, that might take us over to Candy's save point. Well, well, look what the cat dragged in. We never had movements like this back when I was in video games. All this fun can't be good for you. I bet they wasted half the memory already just on this section alone. They can't keep this level of graphics up for much longer. I love how fourth wall breaking he is. We used to be lucky if we got 3 shades of gray, let alone any real colors. Back in my day. We used to have to survive with a 2-frame walk. A leap of faith isn't all it takes to find Winky in Cannon Canyon. Steel kegs are indestructible. Follow them and they'll mow down all the baddies in their path. Donkey, I've seen enough. That tie, turn it off. Great advice from Cranky as always. Torchlight trouble. All right, well, this is nice and dark. Sorry to you guys, the viewers. Okay. These big guys can only be beaten by Donkey Kong. Also, it seems like we're going to have some flashing lights here, so just that heads up if that's important to you, the viewer. Sometimes, I guess, when I turn, the bird, I think his name is Squawk here, is going to spin and face the camera. Did not time that anywhere close to right. This is that kind of level, too, that if I lose Donkey Kong, it's going to be a lot harder to get past some of these strong guys. I don't mean to keep blinding you. It's just, you know, that habit of mine to turn around a lot. I guess I'm so used to these ice levels, too, that there's that bit of paranoia of any of those landings in an ice platform would just be really difficult to negotiate. We had Diddy kind of trapped in the platform there. Ooh, I cannot see what's beyond that oil barrel. It's got to be okay, right? It's a checkpoint, so yeah, it's okay. Well, logic says it's probably going to chase me. Everything else does. I wonder if these guys can also only be beaten by Donkey Kong. Oof. Not great. See, I'm hesitant to even jump on them because on these big enemies that Diddy can't defeat, they'll just kind of shrug him off, and there's a chance they'll like, just throw me into the spike at this point, so... Well, I guess we trust the pillar of bananas. Oh, and an exit. We don't even need that barrel, apparently. Oh, there we go. We can save the game. I love that feeling. It's cool making progress in the game itself, but yoo-hoo, Honey Kong. Now's a good time to save. Where you gotten to? 35%. And again, we're not playing. We're not going to see anywhere close to that 100, or I think it goes up to 101 if I remember right. But our goal is to get to the end of the game. And we're making great progress so far. Here's Funky's flights as well. I can see a nice pile of bananas over there, so we're getting close to some further progress. Rope bridge rumble. No ice here yet, it seems. I was just starting to get used to that. Not that I'm wishing for it back, but... All right. I know this is a reused background or modified version of it, but I still like that level of depth with all the bridges in the back. Okay. Look at the background, miss the foreground. There's a barrel. And a checkpoint. Nice. That nice unsteady landing at the bottom here, knowing there's a bridge of something on it. Another good atmospheric piece of music as well. There's a lot of action to it, but it's also just quiet enough to have that slight sinister, menace to it. Oh, this is bad. Oh, well, that's better. We'll just damage boost through those. That's, I'm sure, what they wanted me to do. All right, we get to do it properly this time. I think I played this level before. Yeah, there actually are a lot of levels in games like that have that same vibe when they use similar assets over again. And she was like, have I been here? Yeah. All right, I guess we're doing this with just Donkey Kong this time. So I wonder if I can jump on that and not instantly jump. I'm just so used to... Okay. That's what I need to do. I need to actually be patient a little bit. Maybe not that patient. Happy medium of patience. Ah, this will be interesting. I guess I have to use this barrel to make a path. Maybe I'm overthinking it. No, those bananas could actually be important. I mean, I just hit my 100, which is another guy, but... I mean, by that logic, I should probably be trying for those bananas, but... they seem a little more out of reach. The challenge of stopping on those tires is just that little bit of extra... that little bit of extra give to it. It's like it's rubber, so it wants to throw me off. Forget what I'm doing and just run right into the first enemy. I saw a bit of a banana at the top of my screen. All right. Get to see Donkey Kong celebrate something here. That's nice. Wasn't there a tire on there a second ago? Will that make that easier, harder, or impossible? All right. All right. I don't know if I got lucky there, or if that was what I was supposed to do, but I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. Really naughty rampage. Well, of course, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get a shot of inspiration here from Candy. Let's just see how this goes. So this looks like the first boss, but a slightly different shade of color, which is how so many old games did things. Oh wow, he moves. Interesting, he kind of like bounces you back off if you don't hit him square on the head. I like that little laugh he gives too. I wonder if it's going to be kind of like the previous boss too, and that it just needs to be hit a certain number of times and not like in sequence. I think this did it. Another giant banana. Kremkrock Industries Incorporated. Well, we've been streaming for a little while at this point. I'm going to save the game at this point, and maybe we'll take a look into that map and just see how far off either Candy or Funky's flights are, and just see if I want to touch a few more levels, or maybe it wouldn't be bad to take that second boss victory for the day as that point. That's the fourth boss. I think there are 7 in the game, so we're over halfway there in terms of boss battles. As any game's going to do, the difficulty is just going to continue to ramp up as we go forward. You know, actually, maybe it does make more sense than to... This kind of feels like that's starting a new chapter in a book idea. I'm going to take that accomplishment, the slaying of that second boss. We made it through that icy mountain area, those fun rope caves. And this whole thing, all of today, has been a lot of fun so far. I mean, there were definitely spots I struggled, and I don't have to tell you, you guys saw it. I wasn't even really paying attention at the percents here, so let's just take another look. 37%, I'll take that. Yeah, I think that works though. It was so much fun though getting to this point and just going through all those levels. It was definitely a learning experience for me in a lot of these, because I played this game before, like I said. It was very nostalgic for me because at the McDonald's near where I grew up, they had 3 Super Nintendos, and this was one of the games for quite a while that was available. So it was always such a lucky feeling when you came in there and nobody was playing it, and you could just sit down and play some Donkey Kong and just, get to see these different levels and how far other people have made it, and just kind of go back and play other levels, sorts of things. And it feels so much like summer to me. That was another reason to pick it up and start playing it now, just to kind of relive that feeling. But it's really fun to take the time to go through level by level myself and see what I'm capable of. And all the way through, I just keep being amazed at how wonderfully designed the platforming is. Every jump feels like it was meticulously planned and perfectly precise. It's not any of that like, ooh, you got beaten by the game or something. It's like you made the right jump from the right spot and got rewarded for it. You used that trail of enemies, as momentum. So many good design things and different approaches to things too. There's these hidden paths and things. There's the straightforward, slow and steady approach, but then there's that slightly more reckless, but potentially more reward approach. The music, I can't say enough good things about the music. And this isn't meant to be like a series recap, because we're only halfway through the game. There's still a couple more days of play, so I don't want to, spend all of my day praising it here, since I'm going to keep doing that going forward. But I guess we've made it to this point, so let's stop back at the desk and kind of put a bow on today's episode. All right, so here we are. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. It's especially fun to play for an audience like this, so thank you for that motivation and keeping me on task and pointing things out to me that I hadn't considered for the game and just being there to cheer me on. It means a lot to me. It kind of really fits into that old school vibe too, of being in that shared setting and watching somebody else play and hearing that motivation come from over your shoulder, and so thank you for putting me in that same headspace. We made it through a couple more bosses today. Percentage-wise, we're around 35%, but that doesn't necessarily equate to how far along the game we are. That's just how many of the different endings and secrets we found throughout the different stages. But I will definitely happy with that so far. I can definitely feel the difficulty starting to pick up a little bit as well. I think I'm going to need to be a lot more conscious of how many lives I have on hand, especially as we start off new worlds, and I'm not sure how far off it'll be until we can get to Funky's flights or Candy's save point. But just, clawing forward that little bit at a time and reaching those safe havens is just such a cool feeling. So just as rough as it was finishing up yesterday and wanting to keep going, I've got that same feeling again today of how much I could just pick that controller up and keep playing. But it's been a lot of fun to kind of parse this out over a little bit. So it was a lot of fun today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for thinking it was fun. I'm so glad to hear that. But yeah, I hope we can all look forward to doing it again tomorrow. I'm definitely excited and hope you are as well. So my name is Tom Shima. Thank you so much for being here. I'll have this video up on YouTube later in case you want to relive my struggles. I'll have the whole series up there in case you miss any point along the way, but it's just been a lot of fun so far, and I can't wait to share that with as many people as want to see it. I hope I can see you again tomorrow as this journey continues. I'm excited for it, and I can't wait. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you can get done all the stuff you want to do, have some fun throughout it. You've earned it. And let's meet back here tomorrow and compare notes on all the fun stuff we did. Thank you again for being here, and take care.